Hi, Ann. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, do
Hang
we,
on a little bit longer. I'm getting us set up on Zoom.
okay,
Okay, ready when you are.
great. And is someone recording? Okay.
Ready, set. Why is it going like that? Oh, okay. Ready, set, go.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it is 6:03 p.m. on Thursday, October 16th. This is the Bluff Planning and Zoning Commission work session. And we'll just start with roll call. I am Marcia Haydenfeld, Vice Chair, and I am Chair this evening as Amanda has an excused absence.
Malia Collins.
Gary Haas.
And Brian Whitney has also got an excused absence. He explained that he had stuff going on today. For town council, do we have representation? We do.
I think I am the representative, Ann Lepelin.
Okay, the mayor is with us this evening.
Woohoo.
Our agenda is fairly straightforward in terms of being a good work session for sign code discussion that we said. And basically what that is that in reading the sign code recently for a sign permit, we sort of discovered what may or may not turn out to be some sort of challenges that we weren't sure about. And at the same time that I put this on the agenda, our mayor had mentioned hearing of also a challenge that I put in our notes. So we're going to talk about those. However, it is a very busy night in the town of Bluff. So what I'd like to do is make sure, Anne and or Malia, if you can tell me, would you rather that we take care of the business that Erin gave us earlier and then we go back to sign discussion? Or Anne, are you sticking around for sign discussion and don't mind?
If it's possible, I'd prefer to move up. I got back from Salt Lake City at 1 o'clock this morning and I am fried.
Fried. If this meeting is a small quorum of the three of us, and if the three of us are in agreement, I am happy to take care of the town business, and the three of us then can hash out some ideas for the sign code. Is everyone in agreement with that?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, in that case, Malia, would you lead us into what it was that Erin had offered for our agenda this evening, please?
Yes, she has recorded a video. Can you guys see the screen that looks like I need to hit play on?
Yes,
It's
we
black
can.
screen.
All
Black
right.
screen.
Hello, Bluff Planning and Zoning Commissioners. My sincerest apologies on not being there today to talk to you in person. Today is Thursday, October 16th, and while I fully intended to be at your meeting, I did have something come up. So I'm recording this. I know this is a little unorthodox, but I did want to provide my updates, as I know I had requested to provide some information on your meeting today. So without further ado, under new business, for discussion regarding public hearing date of October 28th and request for council commission joint public hearings. We have a total of 8 items that need to go to public hearing. Most of these are actually items that do touch both planning and zoning as well as town council, and ultimately planning and zoning is the jurisdiction that would approve something like the general plan. Does have to do with planning, as well as like the renewable energy ordinance. And so we have a total of 8 items that need to go to public hearing. I'm going to list all of those off, and I'll list them twice for you. But number 1 is adoption of the renewable energy ordinance. Item 2 is adoption of the RV ordinance. Item 3 is the general plan amendments. Item 4 is adoption of a Bluff cemetery ordinance. Item 5 is adoption of an engine brake ordinance. Item 6 is adoption of a commercial vehicle idling ordinance. Item 7 is amendments or the complete removal of the land use clearance ordinance. And item 8 is amendments to the building code ordinance. So again, those are 1, renewable energy ordinance, 2, RV ordinance, 3, general plan amendments, 4, cemetery ordinance, 5, engine brake ordinance, 6, commercial vehicle idling ordinance, 7, land use clearance ordinance consideration, and then 8 is the building code ordinance. So since so many of these do touch planning and zoning, it's at my recommendation to council that we would like to hold a joint public hearing meeting with you and Bluff Town Council based on the feedback received and the additional work identified. We can identify which board or commission will be making edits or amendments to these drafts after the fact. We are starting at 5 p.m. on Tuesday, October 28th. We would need a quorum of planning and zoning commissioners. Ideally, all of you would be available to sit in on these public hearings. But I did want to make you aware of that date. We did notice each of them separately, as if there was an issue with one and they were all grouped under one public hearing, it's possible that we would have to do another public hearing that would cover all 8 or all 7 of the items that wouldn't necessarily need to be opened up again. So that's why we were noticing all of them separately. As we get closer to the date, we will put an agenda together to prioritize them or put them in an order that makes sense to receive public comment on. So that's kind of item 1. And all of these can be found, the drafted ordinances and drafted documents can be found on the town's website, and it's under government and departments, the government and departments tab, and then public notices. So there's like a little drop down and you can select public notices. It lists the item, it has the date as well as the Zoom link. As a note, the Zoom link will be different from what we usually use for these because again, we are hoping it's a joint meeting, and additionally, it's a different time of day and everything. So it's a different Zoom link, and I'll make sure that all of that is alerted to the public. Then the drafted documents are going to be out there as well. If for some reason we were to have any amendments before or changes to the documents before the date of the public hearing, both the original that was posted as well as the updated document would be listed with the date that it was updated. So for example, if we had a minor change, we hear back from legal counsel about the cemetery ordinance, we would post something with a second document and list the date that it is posted, but we did need to get them posted to get enough notice so they're ready for public hearing. Item 2 is discussion and a notice of your planning and zoning midterm vacancies, as well as the application process, interview process, and that timeline to fill those positions. So as you all know, Gary Hawes will be on town council and therefore can't continue to serve in his planning and zoning capacities. Additionally, Amanda Podmore has given her resignation that, after 7 long years, and even more than that, she is stepping down. And so she has 1 year left on her term. Gary has 3 left on his. We do need to fill these. We will follow the regular procedures in which you all will do interviews of candidates who have written in with letters of interest. You'll do interviews, make recommendations to town council, and then town council does ultimately appoint. The notice for these vacancies is up on the town website under that same area. So government and departments, public notices. So the notices are out there. In order to hit the dates that we needed to have all of this start moving, I did take the liberties. I did talk to Amanda just briefly before she left, but we would need you all to conduct the interviews during your first meeting in November. So your November 6th meeting, which means that we have asked potential applicants to have their letters of interest in no later than Friday, October 31st at 5 p.m. So letters of interest are due then. You all will complete the interviews that night, and then either you can make recommendations that night, discuss and make recommendations to move to town council, or you can discuss during your work session in mid-November. As previously discussed, you will need to have the discussions in a public meeting. You can't discuss separately. And so we do understand sometimes that is uncomfortable, especially if the applicants are, remain in their meeting. But similar to all of the, things written in the bylaws, that is the process. At this point in time, I have heard a few folks who may be interested. I think it would also probably be helpful to identify during your interviews whether the applicants are interested in the 1 year or the 3 year midterm seat, or if they have no preference. And that is a little different. I know you guys have a regular kind of list of questions. Perhaps you can go through those and kind of talk about that and make sure they're all pertinent and just discuss the process in which you do the interviewing. Again, my sincerest apologies for not being here tonight. I am kind of on standby, as is Ann Lepinen, that you can give either of us a call and we can try to jump on the meeting to clarify anything. But I sincerely appreciate all of your hard work. You guys have done an awful lot over the last couple months. And, my hope with both of these items is that, certainly with the public hearings, that we can get your support and get a lot of these items finalized before the end of the year. So thank you all so much for your help. I hope you have a wonderful night and a good arts festival weekend, and take care, and I will see you all soon. Thank you so much.
Technology.
Yeah, my gosh.
That was super. That was like really good. Okay, do we have any questions for anything that Erin told us this evening while we still have Ann somewhat with us this evening? I think the only question I came up with is just what? Oh dear. I think the question is, will you have someone who's in charge of that ordinance leading it, town council, and someone who's in charge of this ordinance, P and Z, leading that? Do you want to jump between leaders for each of these? Or is it just town council's meeting? Oh, you're muted.
New computer.
This is so God. Okay, so first of all, I'd like to apologize for the fact that we're cramming hopefully 8 ordinances in. And the reason this, I think I made clear, I do not want to leave this office and have dangling participles out there for folks. I really want the council that's taking their seat, and Gary, you're going to back me on this, that they want to step into as clean a seat as possible. And so, so thank you for indulging on us on this. I think the way that we'll handle it is once things calm down at the start of the week, I will talk with Chris McInerney, go over each of these and say, realistically, what can you have ready? In order of priority, we need to have you do A, B, and C. And hopefully he can get all of them at least reviewed, or at least say, go ahead and have the hearing and I'll clean them up later with minor changes. My thought would be things that originated with planning and zoning. Certainly that person, that chair would lead that. I would lead the ones that started with us, which I don't think are really any. And I think the big thing, the general plan, comes from both sides. So I've really envisioned it, Marcia, as being more, this is an opportunity to hear from the public. Erin has managed the public hearing piece of it for us, maybe have her be the moderator for each piece, and then have planning and zoning jump in to the ones that they know the most about, and then the town for the pieces we know.
And I applaud that idea. The only thing I would throw out to all of us is very rarely does the town body answer back to the public anyway. So really what we have is more of a discussion in order coming at us. And I think having Erin just handle the speakers gets us through, with the possible exception of a moment's explanation of what the ordinance is or the bill is.
Right. And that's why I think a lot of these started and came out of planning and zoning.
Okay.
I think the only one that might not have, well, there might be one or two, but definitely the general plan came kind of from both sides.
Right.
And I'm hopeful that we can get a public hearing on all 8. Any questions about that from anybody before I just add one piece that's kind of an aside but tied to it?
No, I think that really, I'm sorry, Malia, I didn't mean to say no for all of us, but no, I think we followed this. It does make sense to get them done because a lot of them are going to take sort of the easy road of, yes, we need a break ordinance and yes, that kind of thing. And I don't anticipate, what I'm hopeful for is just people who actually catch things that we need caught. So, okay, you are free to add to the conversation.
So I just want to point out that on Tuesday in the town council regular scheduled meeting, we are going to change things up a tad. And the first part of the meeting will be taking public comment, not as a public hearing, but public comment from folks after we describe the results of our mediation and the stipulated agreement that we came to with Sitla, Acton, late yesterday. And we want to, quite frankly, get ahead of the gossip, get ahead of the rumors by saying, this is where we are. We will be voting to approve this mediated agreement later tonight, but this is your chance for your 3 minutes to tell us what you think after we've told you what the process is that we followed.
Great.
So hopefully our meeting itself will be very short. We're going to devote most of our time to allowing the public to give their 3-minute comment in public comment, not as a public hearing, but then before that, have us walk through, these are the pieces that you didn't get information on, and this is why we reached the decision that we did.
Awesome.
And I'd love it if any of you from planning and zoning can be there. I think it's really important that folks who've asked the questions get their answers as much as we can do it in one evening. So
I think that's great. I applaud the town council for following this route, mediation and whatever. I have no idea what you did, and I'm hoping that whatever you did made it better for Bluff, and I'm sure it did. So, or not, and you'll vote no. But,
well, it's been a long really closing in on 2.5 years since all this started. If you start back with going back to Judy Lyman's case, it's much longer. So there's a lot of history and a lot of closed sessions that we couldn't talk about. We're obviously not going to drag out every closed session, but we are going to hit the high points and let people know, obviously, what we worked out in mediation, and hopefully be able to ratify it. And then move on and be able to, again, pass things off to a mayor and a council in 2026 that don't have litigation hanging over their heads. So, well, thank you for moving this up. I have not slept very well for 3 nights, and I am ready to just take a night off.
Okay, Ann,
Good
thank you.
idea.
Any other questions for Ann? I think we can let her go. Okay, we'll see you at the movies and everything else for the weekend. So get
Be well. Okay.
a great
Thank you.
rest. Thank you, Ann.
Have a good evening. Bye.
Thanks, you too.
Bye.
See you.
Okay, team, that sounds very promising, but we have a lot of listening coming up for us over the next few days.
And it's
Okay.
6:21 and Ann logged off. Just
Say
gonna-
again, I'm sorry.
It's 6:21 and
Oh.
Ann logged off.
Thank you, Malia. That's great.
Yep.
Okay, we are down to a quorum of the Planning and Zoning Board, and our discussion tonight is the sign code. And Malia is going to bring it up, and she's going to hit the one that says show comments, so I know where I did some stuff, and I think maybe you did too, Malia, you said.
Yeah, I did.
I couldn't find it to do it.
That's
I did.
a great point.
Well,
It was a tough one to find.
we do know that it was a problem. However, Erin did give us a little, it wasn't on there, Gary, when I first looked.
Okay,
It
good.
wasn't in her OneDrive. You're not crazy.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
And then Aaron put it in there a couple of days ago.
Right. So if you scroll down a little bit, I just want to make sure this is the one that has, yeah. And then can you if you hit the word editing and change it to reviewing, then you can Yes, now you can show comments, see right above in the main ribbon right there. Yep, no. Oh yeah, there we go. So show comments. And the only reason I'm asking you to do that is so I remember what I was doing.
Yep. Oh, I totally get it.
So if you would go to the top, Malia, we can just scroll down, and what I'd like to do, we have a half hour left, a little over half an hour. And in
Yeah.
that time, I'm hoping that the three of us can consolidate the issues perhaps enough that when we report to all five of us, we'll have some things to decide if
Yeah.
that's okay with all of you.
I
Okay.
think that's great.
Yeah,
Okay, in that case, if you start at the top, we had the purpose, and I don't think we changed anything. I don't
I don't
think,
see any edits.
yeah, I don't think everything's perfect in there, but we don't have to change everything.
Right.
So definitions, I'll just get started and you guys help and stop me whenever you want to, since it's just the three of us chatting.
Okay.
I like the word terms instead of words
me too.
because, yeah, because the term, so to my thinking, we can edit that, or put the word terms there and answer yes to my comment or whatever makes should we leave it there so they see what we did?
That's my thought. So
Okay.
I'll put all of our changes in red,
Okay,
and then I'd like to, man, this is such a different,
yeah, no, here's what I
I'd
figured
like to
out.
just do the strike through on this one, or just leave it as it is and leave your
No,
comment.
if you go
Wonder
back
if
the way
you-
it was for just a second, take out the word terms for a second and go back, and here's what I think worked, because I can't remember how I did it. If you are in suggesting, there you go. Now hit the word words with your highlighter and it'll take it off. Or put the word terms after the word words, and that way it X's out the word words but leaves it there. See,
Okay.
there you go. Now highlight words and then type the word terms. Ugh, whatever.
I think-
Let's just do that.
There is
No,
an option in here that says,
cross it out. Yeah.
track changes,
Yeah.
and we
Okay.
can see if that changes it. But
Because
I'll highlight.
I know when I highlighted it gave the word. Okay. Let's just leave that. Okay. All right, let's keep moving. So terms. Then the next thing I said was to add a couple of definitions. And by the
Mhm.
way, these are out of order alphabetically. So
Oh
later,
my gosh.
yeah, later we need to go back because if you
Okay.
look, now keep going, the letter G comes way down there.
Oh, yes. Interesting.
Okay, so I don't need you to do it right this second, because it too is a pain in the patoot.
Yeah.
So what I thought is let's just look at the couple of definitions I put in and see if you guys catch any more. But if
Yeah.
you go down to what I added, there was no definition for ground mounted. Oh, yeah, exactly.
That's it.
There you go. There you go. A piece of, we don't want piece of, we want a mechanical or electronic structure. Good. Okay.
Yeah, good catch.
Okay. All right. Going down unalphabetically. Well, first alphabetically, go to one more and keep going. And I put in the word monument. Remember how you
Yes.
pointed out monument signs? Well,
Yes.
we didn't have a definition for that. So I pulled one off the internet, which we
Great.
can clean up or do. So monument signs, sometimes referred to as monolith signs, are large freestanding weather-resistant signs that sit close to the ground level. They generally have little or no open space between the sign and the ground and are constructed to be solid signs that stand the test of time. So you were probably right in saying that might have been a monument sign, but we didn't describe it. We didn't define it.
Right.
So I say we leave that there for the moment. We
Yeah.
can always look up you know, a little different wording, but at least we've got it in.
Yeah, I think that's a great definition because that's my understanding of the term as well. And I
Okay,
think that we should go through our chart, like you had the comment of need a couple more definitions for clarity in chart.
exactly. If you use the word
That's
somewhere,
exactly
you
right.
better know what it is.
Right.
Gary,
Yeah.
we doing okay? You're just nodding along. Okay.
So if we have, sorry,
Yep, go ahead.
for example, the sign that we looked at, it had a good distance between the ground and the sign,
Mhm.
but this is saying no open space between the sign and the ground. Should that
Didn't
be
it?
between the monument
Right.
and the ground?
Well, that's where we need the clarification, I feel like, is the difference is the structure the sign, or is the sign truly the part that you have the words in? Because
Oh,
that was where the hangup
yeah,
was, is this entire structure the sign? Or was it just?
Well, it does say that later when you're talking about poles and things like that. But
Uh-huh.
for
yeah.
monument, nope, stay there for a second. For monument, Gary, would you like it to say little or no open space between the monument and the ground, or the structure
Between the
and the ground?
structure?
I would say that between the structure or the monument and the
Uh-huh.
ground.
Okay, let's try that. That's good. That was a
Yeah.
good catch because you're saying that little sign in the middle that says fort, in this case,
Right,
is here, but the monument's on the ground. Yeah, okay,
Correct. That way we
okay,
can control the size of the sign
right,
and then look at the size of the monument.
good,
right,
good.
yeah,
Okay, let's try
yeah,
that then. All right,
for sure.
let's keep going. This will be great because then when we present it to the rest of the group and try and actually say yes or no, we'll have it done.
Mhm. Yeah,
So there also wasn't a ground mounted definition. Ground mounted sign means a sign which extends from the ground or has support which places the bottom of the sign less than 2 feet from the ground. So in the pictures that go with that, they were things like, oh God, do we even have one? They were signs that, like entering the, you'd have to look it up, but like entering a shopping center and there was a little sign there that says Bluff Shopping Center, you know, on the, so it's a little confusing. And we might want to, let's keep going for this evening, but we might want to come back to each of us looking up what our picture is of this.
what we mean by, what each of us means by ground
Yeah,
mount.
because
Means
I,
something
I mean,
different.
I agree with Gary. If we're trying to control what we're talking about, we better know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So maybe it's the assignments after we're done talking will be go find some of these examples and make a little list or something. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, most all the signs would be mounted,
Right,
whether
Yeah, if
on,
they're not on the building, yeah. So we
and
may want to be careful to delineate well between ground mounted and monument kind of thing.
yeah.
Okay.
yeah,
Okay. So let's keep that on our list. And if you keep going, I think, okay, so off-premise sign, I didn't change the definition. I changed a line about it later. Okay.
okay,
And same thing for temporary sign. I didn't change the definition. I changed a line for it later because those were two. The temporary sign is what Anne mentioned to me because someone
right.
come to her and said, can I put up a sign that, you know, says we're having this event? And she went, well, I don't know, you know, so that kind of made her think. So, all right, let's
We have
go.
a building on here twice.
uh, a building and others, including an A-frame. Oh, look at that. Good catch.
I was just about to point out.
Oh, I know.
Okay. Malia, how do we define interfere or do what? Oh, interfere with, Malia, you're asking about
Yeah.
interfering
Oh,
with government signs. I think
yeah, that's
that's a
further down.
known, to me, that's a known quantity. You
Okay,
can't see past what you just stuck on that pole.
okay.
But if you have a problem defining it, then you might have to come up with one. To me, it's if you put something up that you've ruined the view of something else, or you can't see, if you know,
Yeah.
a bunch of the fort people when they first came were sticking signs all around town on our traffic signs, like stop signs and stuff that said cemetery, cemetery. And they were doing all kinds of sort of their own signage around town and pointing the way. I don't mind a directional sign near the fort that might say, you know, cemetery this way or something like that. But to me, it is not legal to run around sticking signs on existing traffic signs that say go this way. So that,
Did we put that in here? Do we have that listed
yeah,
anywhere?
well, you can't put it, I think it's later. I think it's under you can't do it list, the prohibited list. That's the word.
Okay,
I believe that's prohibited. Okay.
okay.
So are you comfortable, or do you want some sort of definition of
Well,
interfere?
that's further down. Let's get there.
All right, okay,
That's, yeah.
okay, go
Looking
ahead,
at the definition of sign,
okay.
is there anything that we need to add? Because we have, it includes banners, pennants, streamers, balloons, moving mechanisms, lights into the direct attention in the same manner, regardless of whether the device includes text or graphics. Like, do we need to put more things that include, that the term sign includes?
Like, what do you think is missing?
Well, I don't know, I'm wondering, because we have defined monument sign above, do we need to, I don't know, just something, I guess I'll say it out loud and then I'll keep it in mind as we're continuing to go through.
Okay.
Maybe if there's not a definition and it feels like it's a pretty general term, we could put it under term sign includes and then put that term in there.
Very good. No, that's a great idea. I think we've got it all because just what you said, further down, you're going to see
Yeah.
under prohibited or
Right.
allowed. So I think you're
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
Now, the permitting process. This is the general process. Once again, I was trying not to correct every word. You know, it's like this exists for a reason. It's a good ordinance. It just, you know. So, but if you go, let's see, 6612C permit, there. So 6612C, a signed permit application will be reviewed. If the application is incomplete, we'll let you know and you can complete it. When it's complete, it'll be reviewed by P&Z, which may approve, deny, or approve with conditions. And here we have the word conditions that we hadn't addressed. So to
Right.
me, yeah, so to me, I sort of want to highlight that word, yep, and just bring it up that says,
I mean,
and
just erase it now, but
yeah, I think, I'm not sure you want to take it out because I think we just want to highlight, and basically what we're saying is, do you, you're about to put a sign and the particular place you're putting it is an angled driveway that blocks the other angle. I don't know. I'm just making things up as I go. And we say to you, well, you know, you can have a sign on your driveway, but the condition for you is you need to put it back 2 feet because it sits funny on your angle. I'm not saying that's one. I'm just saying that's the kind of wording that would lead us to be able to help someone get the sign they need, but just have it fit the circumstance. Okay, so
yeah, because that's basically what we do oftentimes is we'll approve this once we see this document, that document, and those documents to prove that you are in compliance with these other things. And once we see those, you're good. Or we recommend that you pull it back 2 feet
no, I don't think
right?
the first part of your sentence is correct. The first part of your sentence is if you don't give us a complete application, that goes
Oh.
to the first sentence of letter C. If the application is deemed incomplete, you'll give it to us. The
But it
conditions,
might not be something that we're asking for in the application. It might not be something that we really
right,
since we're all chatting. Is that still considered an incomplete application? If it's everything that they filled it out, it's complete, But when they're in the meeting and we're talking about it, we're saying, actually, we do need a couple of other things. Because this is in a unique position, this isn't located in a
So,
unique
oh,
spot.
I see. So you're asking, is that a condition?
Yeah,
I suppose it actually is, because
yeah,
you are allowed this, we're going to approve your permit on the condition that you get your neighbor to give you 2 feet, or, I mean, we can't do that, but I mean, whatever that
things we
extra,
are allowed to do,
yeah.
yeah,
So,
within,
yeah. So I'd like to highlight that, leave it, and have us discuss the word conditions, because
yeah,
it's the
it's
same.
almost like as set by, oops. Sorry about that, as set by planning and zoning.
No, you don't need that, because it just says, it says, when the application is complete, it shall be
Yeah.
reviewed by P and Z, which can approve, deny, or approve with conditions. And that's true of almost all ordinances from planning and zoning. And
Right.
that's what we've run into with the town being adverse to conditional use, okay?
Right.
That's what we just discussed on the last issue, which was what the energy ordinance, right? Where we said, look, you've said you have conditional use for that. What are those? How do you apply those conditions? And that was Chris McEnany letting us know how we're going to do that.
Right.
So
And so,
I think we just leave this as something to discuss with the troops and figure out who's going to tell us what that means, or what we
okay,
can.
so that's what we're looking for is clarity on if we need to have or approve the application subject to conditions, or if that is just something that's assumed. That as the commission, we have that right
No,
to,
yeah, I don't think you do unless you say so. Because otherwise,
okay,
okay, so our only two choices would be approve or deny, okay?
right,
Typically, on something like signs, I believe that it is normal to say conditions. So approve, deny, and put in some conditions.
Well,
Because,
the only,
go ahead,
sorry,
Gary. No, go ahead.
the only thing we're approving or denying is the application itself, right? And then we review the application.
No, 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 no. We've
Permit?
already done that. You're 2 sentences ahead. The
Oh,
letter, yeah, letter C says we're going to
sign
review
permit.
it for completeness. If it's incomplete, we'll tell you to fix it. Third sentence says, if it's incomplete, we can wait until you give us the you fix the deficiency.
Right.
And
yeah,
now the fourth sentence is, when the application is complete, we're
Got
ready.
it. With you.
Okay.
Okay, I'm up
Yeah.
to date.
No, that's okay. It's confusing.
get it.
I'm almost wondering, I'm almost wondering if it should say C is all the stuff about it not being complete, and D is when we complete it, right there.
I like that.
Yep,
Easier to
I
see.
do too, because that made both of you say, that made both of you confused by it, which means we're
Right,
confusing the public. There
Yeah,
you
I
go.
like that.
Okay.
yeah,
And that helps us, because we can say, okay, you gave us a complete application. Here we go. So let's do that. Let's leave it
yeah,
and see now. What's the next sentence? Decisions on sign application shall be issued in writing. Da 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 da. Okay. And we haven't had this very often, but we need to be careful for, if we deny something, we have to tell them why. And that's where you get into legally recording the reason that we said, because if someone
right,
wants to fight it or whatever, they can say, hey, you told me you didn't like the color blue, and that's not a reason. So, we're
right.
okay. Good. Okay.
So then, based on the words that we highlighted above, do we also need to say if an application is subject to conditions, they shall be issued in writing? Oh, I guess that says decisions, so we're okay, because then its decisions are issued in writing, signed and dated.
There you
And
go.
that would include the conditions.
Correct.
Woo!
Once
Okay.
again, if you said no to someone, they'd want to know why, and you have to. If you said
Right.
yes with a condition, you need to list the condition so we all remember and go, oh, we told you the condition was the sign had to be blue. So then we're good. Okay, good.
Right, okay. Whew. Good job, everybody. Nice catch, Marcia.
Okay, let's go down. And Malia, stop if you see something that, and Gary, 661,060. Oh, okay, clarifying sizes. Okay. Oh, wait, let's talk about, wait, go up just exemptions. The following are exempt from a sign permit. And we did this pretty well when we were all together. We said you could have the little electronic sign or a little window sign, you know, open, closed kind of things. We tried to make that. Okay, governmental signs, holiday decorations or displays, murals, and my question goes number 6 after the word murals, because I just thought of it, is temporary signs. Is that exempt from a, let's leave it there for a second, because then we want to go down later. I'll do down later.
Yes.
Good. Okay. Prohibited. And this might help us with what you were talking about, Malia. Did we mention all the right signs?
Oh, right. Okay.
Right. Okay. Signs that interfere with government signs, public traffic, that's traffic signals. So there's the definition of the interfere, or the list at least of interfere. Are you good with that? Does that?
Yeah.
Good.
We can get to the
Okay.
whole thing.
Yep. And number 2, signs that encroach. Number 3 is signs blink and flash and do things. Bananas, 99 cents. I hate that in Blanding. Let's see. Well, I mean, I know they have to do it and I know things have to happen, but that one just drives me nuts. There's no other place to buy bananas, so why do I, you know, I just have to flash it. Moving figures, signs, broken, damaged, non-compliant with, oh, the outdoor lighting, good, okay. So if you keep, so Malia, does that feel comfortable to you for the sign definitions then?
I think so. I'll double check it
Okay,
when
good, no, that's good.
working on it together.
Okay, and this
I
is
mean, it
the
doesn't
what,
have any specific type of sign that is prohibited. It's just basically placement or safety hazard. Feels
no,
like.
it has all of
Oh,
them.
it must, except for moving figures, inflatable figures, or advertising.
It has 7 different kinds of signs that,
Flashing.
But yeah, but nothing that's specific, nothing that's like monument signs are not allowed. Ground mounted signs are not allowed.
oh, no,
It's building mounted signs are not allowed. You know, it's talking about like what would make your building mounted sign not allowed. So, yeah,
okay,
I think we're good in the definition of sign in that regard.
okay. Then we go down, non-conforming. And this is the stuff where we have so many signs in town that have been there forever and they're probably going to stay there forever. Technically, we can come down on that. We can say, hey, this sign's been here for well over years of non-use, you know, it's time to take it down or whatever. I believe, in my opinion, that's up to the town to enforce. So the
That'll be
writing,
Gary's problem, start January.
exactly. I don't think this is,
Spencer.
yeah, that's right. We'll make Spencer go around and cut down signs. Okay,
Look,
so this is fairly normal stuff. This is if you don't use your sign for over a year, or if it's damaged, destroyed, and falling over, and you're using it, you have to repair it, that kind of thing. So
yeah,
this is fairly normal stuff. We're good.
Oh,
Okay.
is this supposed to be 2?
Oh,
Sorry, just.
yeah, I have no idea. Um, yeah, this we'll have to go through this and clean it when, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Rolling forward, rolling down, actually. Um, So
I
that's
think
all.
we did good with non-conforming. I feel like that one. We're not gonna notice any issues with non-conforming until we get it enforcement.
Yep, exactly right, Malia.
We might
Someone.
have to come back to that, but at this point, we don't know that it doesn't work yet.
So far it's working. Okay,
So
good.
far, it's fine.
Okay, here's what I did, and here's what I didn't do. I did not
Yeah.
touch the actual charts because two reasons.
Yeah.
One, I don't want to touch her charts. Those are Malia's lovely charts. But part two, and most important, I don't know that we need to change this unless we start looking at sizes again of actual signs. What we do need is clarifying sizes. So I started a sentence to remind us, how can we best do this? So the sentence I said is, for clarity, the size of the sign as listed in the charts below represents the actual size of the board on which the text is presented. Meaning that little, this is the Bluff Fort, not the stone around it, not the. So this is
Right.
the Bluff Fort is less than 86 square feet or whatever the chart needed to be. Is
Mhm.
that in agreement with everyone? And then now we need to talk about how to size the whole thing. I put that there so we know that we need to talk.
Mhm.
Yeah, I like
Yes.
that.
So my thought is, do we need to define maximum size? No. Okay, I'm just gonna think this through. I know this is not the right way to go, but just because
Good for you, Malia, because I did it 10 times.
defining max size and then have one definition of like maximum size of sign, and then another one of like maximum size
Of structure.
of structure. Yeah, exactly. So maybe another piece in this chart would be maximum size per sign, and then we would have maximum size of structure.
Why don't you type where I stopped and put maximum size of, excuse me, of structure just to remind us in this conversation. Excuse
Because
me.
that would bring up if it's a building mounted sign,
Right.
you're controlling the sign, but
Right.
how do you control the building they put it on?
No. This is only for
And that's the
ground.
building code. That's on them. But this would be more so for a freestanding
Okay,
sign,
freestanding.
add a
Okay.
column for applying to freestanding. Good clarification.
Yeah, so keep typing and we'll fix this into something, whether it be a chart or just a little statement. For
Yeah.
clarity, the sign and the side, because let's clarify this. When we said 86 square feet of sign, we meant 86 square feet of stuff, of information.
Right.
We didn't
Right.
mean, because we also say things like the poles can only be 15 feet, or I can't remember the numbers, but in other
Yeah,
words,
that's where we get the max height from the
yeah,
ground.
20, right. So we've got that. It's just, and maybe it's maximum size of structure for only ground mounted or only,
Like freestanding, if
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
not
okay.
attached to a building, if it's not.
Gary's gears are whirling. I can see his.
No, I guess I get confused here because
Okay,
in looking at it, the sign, maximum size per sign, is like 12 square feet,
Mhm.
which is what, 4 by 3?
right.
Sure.
Those are the little,
And
yeah.
if you do it 8 feet off the ground, do we measure from the ground like it says it down further?
No,
I
because
believe we defined that it's to the top of the sign.
So you'd measure, you
So
wouldn't
from
include the
ground to the
poles.
top of the sign. You would include the poles.
Okay, so it'd be 8 feet off the ground, but then could still be a 3 by 4 sign.
Mhm.
Okay.
right. That's why I'm clarifying that the sign size is the actual board of the sign, the sign itself.
Yes, yep, okay.
Then it can be 15 feet high. Then if it's made out of stones, what does that mean? And how, that's, I think, what we ran into on the fort sign was here we had the right height and their words weren't too big or anything, but was the sign. So go down a little further and let's see if we there's the type, the 40, the square, go down to this pylon, ground mounted, and monument is on the next page, right there.
Right,
That's all part of that same box.
right. And this is where it says, this is where the hangup was on max size, because we are not defining here, is this of sign or of structure?
Yeah. So, and I think we want this to be, we want the existing chart to be the size of the sign, I think. I
Mhm.
think that's what we're saying here, that same 86 feet, 32 feet. I believe that's the sign, but the mounting for this sign, we have to allow for. And
Yeah,
so this will be we want to end the meeting shortly, but these are perfect things to put in
yeah.
here to bring to our group and
Mhm.
solve. Okay. So ground elevation shall not be, oh, I didn't, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Whew, bear with me.
I think we say that somewhere, but leave
Okay,
it
just
there.
putting it in there in case
Yeah,
it's
no,
not.
leave it there for a minute. But wait,
I know
go
that
to,
was the discussion and I'm hoping it made it in here, but
okay, I think it did, but so number C, where ground elevation shall not be increased for purposes of evading any sign height requirement. So I liked that they said you can't shovel the dirt before you measure and get
right,
the sign, but it said lowered or increased, and I want to make sure it's
yeah,
increased, decreased, or otherwise altered. Some may need it lower or higher to get their sign in.
right.
That
Okay,
makes
so that was
Nice
just
catch.
wording. Yeah, that was
Yep.
just wording. Okay, let's keep going. And like I said, we'll finish up tonight with just these good comments. There we go. Off-premise sign. Um,
Woo!
This says that a business owner shall provide written permission from the property owner for an off-premise sign before being issued a sign permit. Then below it, it says, the sign owner or property owner shall repair or replace any sign that is damaged, defective, or which represents a safety hazard, which is fine. We're going to go to the sign owner and we're going to say, your sign's broken, you got to take it off for safety. Okay, does that mean we should let the person whose land it's on, the maintenance is up to them? If the sign is falling over because the land is bad, then the landowner should be. See what I'm just, whatever.
Right.
I like another sentence is all I'm saying.
Yes. And so you added this sentence that's red, correct?
Correct. I did.
Yeah, I like that. I would like to approve that, but because we don't have everybody here, I want
Right.
to wait so that they
Yeah,
can see the
we're,
change.
yeah,
But I
this
think
is
that's important. Yeah.
now let's go to number C that I added in red. And that was the hang up for the use of temporary signage is restricted to, and this is where we, hey, don't you like my spelling?
Oh,
Um,
yes.
the use of temporary signage is restricted to 2 weeks before and 1 week after the event. And I don't care what those numbers are. We can fix that. But I just wanted something to say. Now,
Yeah.
does that mean holiday and election too? And the rest of this question should be, do they need a side permit to do that?
Well, I believe holiday and election signs are exempt, so it
Okay,
doesn't, that, I don't think that's important
okay,
because we want to have to deal with that.
okay.
And we also don't want to make people deal with that. And then regarding, what was the second part of
Event,
your question?
event signs.
Event signs.
So
I mean,
that's
that's
what happened
temporary
to Ann.
signs.
Yeah, that's what happened to Ann is someone came and said, we're doing I think it was
Right.
that cute little art show they just had over the weekend.
Mhm.
And it was, hey, we're doing this cute little art show and we're just
Right.
going to stick a sign on Grand Ave or, on Main Street that
Right.
says art show. And I want to let them do that. So
Yes, ditto.
do they need to come to us?
I don't think so.
Okay, then
Yeah.
then up above under prohibited, or not prohibited, excuse me, exemptions. That's
do
what
a,
temporary
yeah.
sign is. Temporary
As long as
events.
they
There
don't
you go.
block
Yeah,
views or anything.
right.
there you go.
And then
So
we
that's
want to
fine.
make sure that we have in here. We have holiday decorations, and we
Yep.
had talked about. We might also want to put election signs. We had that in here somewhere.
Well, when we're describing the little signs in the residential area, maybe, or something
Oh,
there.
non-electric signs that are 12 square feet. Oh my gosh, I am losing it. Okay, yes.
Temporary
So
signs.
temporary
So
sign,
this is people who do not need to come to us, okay?
correct.
So if they put up, we could say temporary signs that meet all the other requirements of the code, meaning they can't hang it on the side of a traffic post. They can't, they just have to. I absolutely want them to be able to put it. I put up the balloon signs at the,
Right.
at the corner. So I want it to happen. Temporary signs that meet all other requirements of this code. There you go.
And May,
What?
and
No, I think time frame goes down
you think
on,
so?
yeah, because this
Okay,
is just the description of don't come to us for a permit.
okay,
And then now we're way down at the bottom of the things you need to do. Forget the, yeah, and there. We've described off-premise signs with the maintenance of signs. We could do temporary signs. The use of temporary signage is restricted to, and just pick some timing that says what, 30 days before, 10 days after? I don't know. I don't care.
right.
Okay, good. And good old enforcement. So good old enforcement is, there you go. The
It is what it
town,
is this time.
I
We
think,
could probably remove this.
um, yes, you can because it's going to change now too. Yep, perfect.
Okay.
Leave it right like that. Yep, good. Here you go.
Perfect, awesome. Oh, wow, look at all that. These, well, these just pay, they're
This
so dark.
for what we did on this, what we did that was right on this was the enforcement has some teeth. If you don't do
Yeah,
it, you're going to get fined, you're going to whatever.
right.
So let's leave all of that because that was approved already through discussion.
Yeah. Yes,
All right.
awesome. Great conversation, everybody. I think this is some good progress on this. It's nice to have some use out of our ordinance so that we can figure out where our holes are.
Yeah, no, that's exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, it's such a perfect example of you don't know till you use it.
I
And
know, right?
two good questions came up using it. And while
Yeah,
we're at it, we're just going to fix a couple things.
totally. Yeah, this is great. I'm glad that we have this. I don't want to say a lull because we have a public hearing with 8 items on it, but we kind of have a lull this meeting because of that
Yeah.
coming up. So
Okay,
awesome.
Gary,
I feel good on this. Thank you.
yeah, me too. Gary, do you see anything else for the moment?
Nope, I like it.
Okay, in that case, we can come back out of into our agenda and I can ask, does anyone have anything for other or for the next agenda? Oh, I see a hand. Go, Malia.
I do. So I brought in this Rural Utah magazine. There are 4 copies, counting this one. So this was something Aaron received, sent out an email to all of us about, and there are physical copies here. There's 3 more. I'll keep this one in my office if somebody doesn't get one. There was also the virtual
We'll
copy.
I
It's
read it. I
also,
loved it. I read it.
okay,
I loved it. So if you get a few minutes, you guys, you really should. It just says the same words that we say every day, but puts them in the right order. It's like how to write
it,
this, So
it defines them for us.
yeah, it does. It was very succinct, and
Yes,
it's redundant to some training and stuff, but we don't get a lot of that for the most of us.
yeah,
We're supposed to pay good attention to that. We'll keep doing it, but that was actual good training, so it's worth it.
yeah.
If you take the magazine home, take you 20 minutes. If you're online, takes you 20 minutes. It's great.
Cool. Which leads me into my second other, which is a training opportunity. The Utah Land Use Institute has training October 21st and 22nd. and it's virtual, also in person. And I believe Anne is planning on attending, and it's a small fee. But Anne said she looked at it and she was very interested and is, like I said, going to attend. I cannot attend on the 21st, but I'm slightly interested on the 22nd, but I don't really know how much time I really have for that. So
So
just bringing it to your guys' attention, and I can forward the email over with the info as well if you guys didn't see it or haven't, if it maybe got lost in the inbox.
I did see it. I did read it. I always hesitate to sign up ahead of things just because of my life and
Mhm.
is blowing up. But two things. One is I'm going to look again to see if I can do it. Secondly, do you know if the town is willing to pay our fees?
I do not,
Okay, because
I would say that it's probably in a training line item, but I can't speak for the town council. Gary
All right.
can soon.
He
But
can't right now.
he can't right now.
Yeah, Aaron, will they pay? All right, I'm gonna look at it again, and if I take to it, I'm going to send an email to our manager and say, I'd like to do this, but you're paying, or, decide, because,
Yeah.
okay,
And then let
Right.
us know.
Yeah, that's perfect.
anything
And
else?
those are my others. Thank you.
Thank
I
you.
have one other,
Yes, sir.
maybe, because the general plan may come back to us and it's on the thing for
Yeah, the 28th.
the 28th.
Mhm.
I was at their planning meeting or training meeting, their workshop,
Mhm.
and
Whose
Uh,
workshop? I'm sorry.
Town
the town
council's
council's
session.
workshop on Tuesday,
Okay,
and one of the council women, they got to the section on water, town
Okay.
water. And she said that she made a comment about the 500 water shares for the secondary type of water issues
right.
coming out of our aquifers, which is not true. And so I went and researched it. And there are two, she said there was only one water share and they were both under that one. But there's not, there's two water shares. The aquifer, 171 acre feet or whatever it is, and then the 500 acre feet that comes out of the river.
River.
So they're two different water shares. So if that comes up in our thing, we'll be able to address it and
Yeah,
we'll know what we're on the same page.
yeah. And to
You might-
piggyback off of that, with the general plan, they said that the water portion needs quite a bit more love. So if anyone has water knowledge to go through that and to fill that in, those edits would
Yeah.
probably come into play after, but I believe that Aaron maybe met with Marks today to get some of that information to
I heard
update on the
he's gonna,
plan, but
Good.
try to get with the water board to
exactly.
bring everybody.
Try to get
Yeah.
all that
Kind
knowledge
of
written
work.
down.
Yes.
No, that's
We should
important.
have.
It is
It is
important
so
because we get different answers. Gary, thank you. What I
Yeah.
would suggest from that, Gary, is that you make the same comment you just made during public comments of town council, because it was their workshop that it happened at, not ours. So at their next meeting, you can you'd still be under public comment because you're not a member yet, but you could stand up and say, I just need to make a public comment that I want to see a correction of this.
I will be headed to St. George next Tuesday, so I won't be there.
Okay,
But I did speak with Aaron, and I believe Aaron is gonna clarify it next
Okay.
week.
okay, or submit
I
in
believe
writing or
that's,
something,
yeah. So
Okay,
hopefully
good.
that's in the works and
Yeah. Yeah,
Good.
it could always be said at a different meeting as well. Doesn't
Yeah.
have to be the next one.
that's
Good.
true. Okay,
All right.
Awesome. Any
So
other
we
others?
have others, and so I am going to leave the comments of other things on the agenda. Right now, the only thing on the agenda will be sign discussion, and then anything that comes out of public hearing and such that I'm hoping Amanda's back to coordinate that. So I'll get with her and say, this is what we did. Let's use that for discussion, but here are the ones that we're going to be working on because of public hearing.
Yes. Can we also add to the next agenda, a report on the Utah League of Cities and Towns Conference when everybody is here?
Towns report. Okay. Okay, I shall do that. All right,
Cool.
that was a great discussion. I appreciate the extra few minutes you've all given us. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
Well,
Woohoo!
thank
Would
you. The motion, the meeting is adjourned at 7:07 PM. It's Thursday night. Have fun at the park all weekend, and I will see you there. So,
Sounds
Okay.
good. See you soon.
all right, good
Bye,
night,
nurses.
guys.